Kobeni has a dark secret, and I found out what it is. You may think she's just a meme character, but I assure you there's a lot more going on than that. Okay, maybe she is mostly a meme character, but there is substance here. Remember this scene from the anime's opening? Well, it all starts here. This shot is pretty interesting, so I'm gonna try and break it down. This light represents Makima's control. Aki, Angel, and Spider Bitch are all characters we see directly controlled at some point in the series, and thus each is captivated by the screen entirely. None of those characters even move a single time throughout the scene. And you might be thinking, well, if that's the case, Denji was controlled too, so why is he moving around? Well, there's two reasons for that. The first being, Denji was never really directly controlled. I mean, Makima did lead him on, but she also used mostly external forces like Aki and power to get him to do what she wanted. She never really used her power on him to directly control him. And the second reason is, I mean, do you see who's occupying his attention? He's still being controlled harder than a United States politician, I assure you. And the other non-moving characters, Arai and Kishibe, also have explanations. Arai's situation though is a little hazy, as he's never shown to be directly controlled, but he definitely could have been, especially as he's the only outlier besides Kishibe, who is actually behind the light, which despite not moving shows that he isn't being controlled. In fact, it shows that he was one step ahead of the whole game. We know this because A, he had a whole plot against Makima, and B, he's also the only character to ever give Makima an order. And that brings us to the final few people in the scene: Himino, Power, and Kobeni. Himino can be easily written off because she's just here because of her love for Aki, but she does confirm something kind of important. Once she notices Aki's blank stare, she actually looks up at the light instead of the screen, which if you think about it, that basically confirms that the light is the control. And with that out of the way, we can move on to her. I think the fact that Kobeni leaves the room and is replaced by Power shows more than you might think. Power is the only character in all of Chainsaw Man we've seen to have directly defied an order by Makima. And at first, even I was pretty confused at what that could mean for Kobeni. But let's think about it. Kobeni is this hyper nervous, extremely clumsy character in almost every instance that she's in. She freaks out during the Eternity Devil arc, and she freaks out when Chainsaw Man makes her dance, but I mean, who wouldn't? But essentially, that's practically what she's known for. But despite that, why is she calm in hell? No, really, look at this. Even I was surprised while I was doing research. When the whole crew gets sent to hell, she doesn't freak out once. She even is kind of comforting Violence while he's freaking out. I mean, she does cry later on, but that's after her arms are fucking ripped off. Like, that's understandable and completely different than her normal freak out. But you might point out that she does actually leave the Devil Hunting Association after that, and you'd be completely right, she actually does. But that's also why I think her and Power sit in the same spot. I believe that Makima didn't actually want her to leave the association, but was unable to control her not to. It's clear after reading more of the manga that Makima really isn't against using Kobeni, because after that burger dance scene, Makima makes Chainsaw Man block an attack that was originally against Kobeni, and directly after that states that Kobeni herself plays a part in all this, which is really interesting, because directly after that she starts rambling about humans eating Chainsaw Man's power by being fans of him. But I must be going crazy because Kobeni doesn't adore Chainsaw Man at all. She's actually actively afraid of him even a few seconds before this happened. So when Makima said that, she must have been talking about something else, right? Well, yeah, Makima knows something we don't. And I want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying this is all gonna be some flat earther, hollow world, dome sky type stuff. Except, honestly, this has more substance than those theories. But if we go back to that scene I just referenced, why in the world does Chainsaw Man actually block the attack? I mean, it actually seems obvious, right? He's just protecting her like a hero. Well, no, he lets people die all the time. And this is actually Pachida, not Denji. So we can rule out that he might have saved her because she's a girl. And also, I know this scene is Pachida trying to fulfill Denji's dream of going on a date, but at the same time, Denji never really had a connection with Kobeni, so I don't really think Pachida would feel compelled to save her. And I think the answer to why he blocked it might involve her family. Firstly, let's look at her past. And the first big thing from that is her likely brother that appears in the aquarium arc. And wait just a second, because we know Kobeni's parents made her become a devil hunter to help put her brother through college, right? Well, this kid is likely not even close to finishing high school since he looks a lot younger than Denji. So if he is her brother, which I think is probable, I don't think what she said originally was true. Because, like, why would you need to work this early to put your brother through college? And that leaves us with the only other big part of her past. What is going on with her parents? Why are they so controlling, and why is she even sort of relieved to find out that she may never have to ever talk to them again? Well, at first it kind of just seems like your classic abuse case. But if you tie some stuff together, make some insane logical leaps with a hint of speculation, answers start to appear. So let's try that. And we gotta start with, why the fuck is Kobeni so goated? Despite having almost no training, she is insanely good at combat and doesn't even get anxious during fights. It's actually almost always the moments where she isn't fighting that she's extremely anxious, and none of it is ever explained. I mean, she was a devil hunter for a bit, but that doesn't really equate to this level of skill. So I don't really think it's a big assumption to assume that she might have been trained from a young age, possibly by those already aforementioned abusive parents. But it also could be related to her devil contract because she's the only character in the main cast to never really reveal it, or even mention it more than once. So now that we've laid out all of her susness, let's gather it really quick. She's possibly lying about why she became a devil hunter, she's hiding her devil contract, she's insanely good at fighting for no obvious reason, her parents are extremely over-controlling, Makima claims that she has a connection to all of this, and Chainsaw Man protects her for almost no reason. After really thinking about this, it all leads me to one conclusion. But really quick, if you've been enjoying the video, subscribe because it helps a lot and I want to get to 5K before my birthday. Thank you guys a lot. The conclusion it lends me to is I think one or possibly both of Kobeni's parents are devils, and in fact extremely powerful devils with some sort of relation to Chainsaw Man. They might have made her actually join the Devil Hunting Association to get close to Makima because they know what's going on behind the scenes, and maybe they wanted to use her as some sort of spy. That connection could have even been the reason that Makima was unable to control her because she was already in an extremely abusive relationship with a possible devil. And if that's the case, it's very obvious why she hides her contract. It's obviously related to her parents. But the final nail in the coffin, the reason Chainsaw Man tanked that hit protecting her wasn't anything to do with Denji, his power, or even just being nice. It was because Pachida knew the truth behind her situation and felt pity for her. And if we accept that, it leaves us with one more question. What devil are her parents? And I just don't know. With how the story is shaping up right now, it honestly could be death. But at the same time, it's literally Fujimoto, the most unpredictable manga out there right now, so it's kind of hard to expect what's next. But I think this series is a lead that has a very real chance of coming back in some capacity during part 2's story. And I hope I've convinced you of that too. If you enjoyed this really schizo rant, watch another one, and I'll see you guys really soon.